It is episode 50, and we are celebrating today. I am so excited to bring you this episode. I am so excited to celebrate with you as we enter into a brand new year. And I want to hear your celebrations too. So I'm going to share some celebrations. I'm going to share some of my vision, dreams, goals, and we're going to do that together because I'm going to encourage and invite you to do the same. So get excited, get ready to celebrate, and stay tuned for this fun episode number 50. I'm so excited. Stay tuned. Welcome to the podcast, Empowered by Design. I'm your host, Dr. Liz, a licensed psychologist and owner of Visionistas by Design Wellness Boutique in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. This podcast is about the power of connection and a proactive approach to mental health and overall wellness. It's about finding and owning your power right now and using it for good by nurturing the connection of body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Empowered by Design podcast delivers psychological concepts and practical strategies with a real-life approach, designed to empower health and wellness, optimal performance, authentic connection with yourself and others, and purposeful, joyful living. Be well, live empowered, dream, design, deliver. Welcome. Hello. I am so excited to be with you here today and to be recording episode 50. If you know me, if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so glad you're back. Thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting this podcast and supporting your dreams come true. Today we are talking about celebrating our dreams come true in 2022 as we enter into the new year. And what a fun aligning of the episode being episode 50, which I would have been celebrating no matter what date it fell into the year. Because again, if you're back, you know we love to celebrate here. I love celebrating. I love helping other people celebrate. I love celebrating dreams come true, and we are doing that today for sure. Talking about how to celebrate as if you don't know how to celebrate. Of course you know how to celebrate, but we're going to celebrate together, and we're going to talk about some tips and really just how to approach a new year with an exciting and happy energy, joyful, hopeful, with incorporating celebration and looking back and appreciating the now, and of course looking forward. So that's what we love to do here. We love to incorporate all the different places that we can look. And I'm going to be sharing a really exciting celebration of mine and using it as well to go through this process. A real easy formula that we use here, Dream, Design, Deliver at Visionistas by Design. It is our signature formula, and we use it for everything. We use it for our team. We've used it for our own year in review meetings that we've had individually and also as a team, and really being able to celebrate the things that we have accomplished and achieved, and spending real time doing that, because it can be so helpful. And when we pause and really reflect on things, it's amazing the things that come up, that we know on the surface, that we know with awareness, and then sometimes the things that pop up like, oh, I didn't even think of that. So we're going to be doing that together today. I'm so excited to share this, just so excited to share one of my favorite gifts from this holiday season. Oh, there I go, moving around. I'm just so excited. I have so much energy. Whew. And incorporating that into my goal, one of my goals, one of my dreams for 2022. And I'm just so excited. I want to get right into it. So I will. I will do that. I'm going to be using, like I said, the signature formula Dream Design Deliver. You can find that Dream Design Deliver formula, a download on our website for free. We just need your email address so that we can send it to you. And you download it right away. So if you go, there's a couple places that you can get it. I'm going to tell you two of them. The first one is if you go to our website, visionistasbydesign.com, and you go all the way down to the bottom of the homepage to the form that says subscribe with an exclamation point. You enter your name, your email address, you hit the subscribe button, and it takes you to the page where you can then get the form. The form with the formula, Dream Design Deliver, which I'm going to go through today. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm also going to invite you to check out episode 4, where I really go through it in detail for the first time in the podcast. In the life of the podcast, it is the Dream Design Deliver formula. We're going to hit all the main points today, and just letting you know that we talk about it all the time, and very intentionally in episode 4, it is there for you as well. So you can find it there. You can also find it at drliz.com on the resources page. If you go down to the bottom, you can see the button that says, the Dream Design Deliver formula. You can get it for free there as well. And that is a download. So it's a 2-page PDF, front and back. The front is blank, so you can fill it in. The back gives you the specific directions that we're going to go through today. So we use this Dream Design Deliver formula for, like I said, for everything that we do, but we are all about the vision here. We are all about celebrating dreams come true. Our dreams come true, your dreams come true. And so really just inviting you to be with me today in this space of celebration, in this space of reflecting and looking back, looking at what is happening for you right in this moment. Taking a breath and breathing that in, and then also really thinking about what is it that you would like to see for yourself in 2022. So it is the end of 2021. If you are hearing this episode when it drops, it will be right before the turn of the new year. So you'll be hearing this right at the end of December 2021 and into January 2022. But regardless of when you are hearing this episode, this formula, Dream Design Deliver, can be used at any time of the year, whenever you have something that you would like to accomplish and celebrate, right? Because it really, really helps when you do it all together, when you're celebrating, when you're appreciating what's happening for you in this moment, and also when you are looking ahead to the future, because how fun is that? Envisioning your dreams come true. So I am going to talk a little bit about, if you follow me on social media at Dr. Liz, we have a page on Dr. Liz. I have an Instagram account. I have a Facebook account. Both are Dr. Liz, LYZ. We also have a Visionistas by Design Facebook account, Instagram account, not Snapfish. I use Snapfish. Oh my gosh, Pinterest. I couldn't remember the name. And also on Dr. Liz on YouTube. So you can find us in lots and lots of spaces. you on my Instagram this week, you saw one of my favorite Christmas gifts of all time, my new guitar. My new guitar. I am calling her Stella Rain, and I'll tell you why. But I am celebrating this amazing gift, and it's a real fun story that I'm excited to share with you. Very touching, very meaningful in my heart and in my soul. And I'm not surprised often. I will say, I absolutely, absolutely love surprises. And of course, good ones. Bad surprises I don't love. But good surprises are just so fun for me. I think two of the most exciting surprises were when I found out the sex of my baby. We decided for baby number 1 to not find out the sex prior to the birth. And I know, can you even believe that in this era of gender reveal parties and needing to buy all the clothes or whatever, design the nursery before the baby comes, we opted not to. And I know my husband was really mad that he even told me that someone suggested it. One of his friends was like, don't find out. And I was like, oh, let's be surprised. And we were very, very, very surprised when we had our first baby. And then our second, we did find out the gender or the sex, right? Because we don't know the gender until later on in life. But we found out the sex of the baby, and both were very good surprises. No, regardless of when it happens, it's fun to find out what the sex of the baby is. But those were two of my most favorite surprises in all the world. And my family knows that I love surprises, and they know that I usually cry with them. So when they give me a card or they give me a gift, their face is really like spot onto my eyes to see who can make me cry the most. And this Christmas, there were a ton of waterworks. So, again, if you know me, if you've been here before, you know how much I love music and singing. And I have been talking about wanting to learn how to play the guitar for, I would say, a few months. I think for a few months intensely, but I've always talked about it. I've actually asked my kids, do you want to learn how to play the guitar? I think I've always just wished that I could sit down and play the guitar and sing, because I love to sing. And how fun is that, right? And I have tried to play a few instruments in my life, which we're going to get into when we get into the Dream Design Deliver formula, but this is a little bit of info. And none of them stuck. And there's a few reasons for that, which I will talk about. But the guitar, I feel like I've asked both of my kids, and they're like, no, not really. And a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago now, we were at my Pappy and Gigi's house. So you've heard me talk about Gigi. Her name is Flora, and she is partly why I named my new signature formula the Design and Flow program, FLO, because her nickname is Flo. We call her Gigi because she is now Great Graham. I call her Graham, I call her Gigi, but my kids call her Gigi. So we were at Pappy and Gigi's house, and Pappy was talking about, just reminiscing about life and the meaning of life. And really, I love those kinds of conversations, and it was just wonderful and lovely to sit with him in doing the reminiscing. And he talked about his guitars, and he has guitars that he wants to pass along. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to learn the guitar. and I talked about the kids. They were sitting there too. And I again asked them, "Are you sure you don't want to?" And they're like, "No, Mom, we don't." Nothing has changed. And so, that was it. That was a couple of months ago. And I have talked about it. I've talked about it a few times since then, asking around for people in my area who may know someone who gives guitar lessons. And it's been talked about. I've talked about it to several different people. And now bringing us up to Christmas Day. So usually my husband and I typically get a couple of presents from Santa, and, the kids get the most. We have not in a very long time actively bought each other gifts. Okay. This year, about the week before Christmas, my husband says, "I just need to tell you that I did get you a Christmas gift. It's only fair that I tell you. I would hate, for Christmas to come and you'd be mad at me that I didn't tell you, because it is, it's off of our plan." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, now I have to go shopping." So, and he told me he told me the price range. He was like around $50. I'm like, okay. So, and I do love buying him gifts, although sometimes it's really hard to buy him gifts because first of all, he guesses what you get him, and he has a birthday in December, so I had really just bought him a really good gift, and I was proud of myself, and now I'm like, oh, here I feel the pressure again. So I got him a few things and wrapped them ready, Christmas, here comes Christmas morning, and the kids are all, had most of their gifts opened, I guess, at this time. So there's this huge box for me, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting the chills even going back to remember it. Oh my goodness. There's this huge box for me, and a small box too. And he says, "Okay, open the big one first." And I'm like, okay. So when he told me that he had gotten me a gift, I was a little bit like, what could he be getting me? What have I said I wanted? And literally, I actually thought he got me a set of pots and pans because our small frying pan is done. It needs to be replaced. And I've said that a few times. I'm like, oh, I just need a small 8-inch, frying pan to do my eggs, because this one, the bottom is all scratched. So I was like, oh, I hope he didn't get me that. Really, I did have that thought. What a little brat I am sometimes. But it's this huge box, and he would do that. He would put them in like 3 different boxes so that I would, be surprised. But I opened the box, and there was a blanket, and then there was something else over top, and then I lifted up the layer, and I saw the guitar. And I started to cry, like I am now, because it was just like shocking in such a good way. Like, oh my gosh. I just kept saying that. I couldn't even touch it. I jumped back from it. I was that shocked because it was so special and thoughtful. And it was Pappy's guitar. So he had Chad, my husband, after that day, a couple of weeks, I don't know, a few months ago, had gone back and made arrangements with Pappy and Gigi, and my mom helped. My mom did a lot, actually. I found out later that Pappy picked out one of his 5 guitars and gave it to me, passed it on. And I am a little bit speechless. I have to say, because I wish that she was with me right here. and if you haven't seen it on social media, so I did post it on my Instagram and on my Facebook account this week, and believe me, you'll be seeing more of it, because the second part of the gift is the part that he actually did buy, and it cost more than $50. So the guitar is so very, very special because it is Pappy's. And I later called him in the afternoon, because Pappy doesn't get up very early in the morning anymore. I talked to Gigi and Pappy, and thanked them both so much for the thoughtful passing along of the guitar. And I said, I cannot wait to come visit to talk about her. I want to hear any story that you have. I did ask Pappy, I said, I have a name in mind, but if you already have a name for her, please tell me what it is. And I call it a her. If you look at her, she really is. She really is a female. I can be a girly girl at times, and I love to be expressive of my femininity. And this, it fits with me. She's so beautiful. I would have picked her. When I picked her up, I literally said, and I'm not these words, it's like a piece of my soul that I didn't know was missing has come home. It's true. It felt that way in my arms and in my heart and in my soul. Like I picked her up, and it was just like you would hold a baby. And I did say, thank you for giving me my third child, my third baby, little Stella. So I said to Pappy, I have a name in mind, but if you already have one, tell me. And he said, I don't remember if I named her. I don't think she has a name. So for now, and unless he comes up with something, a memory, her name is Stella Rain. And there's so many beautiful things about her. On the top of the guitar are the initials SR, which is so special to me because they are the initials of my daughter, Sophia Rose. And we were like, oh my gosh, look at this. So that is where her name came from partly. It really did just, I love the name Stella, and doesn't it just fit? Stella Rain so beautifully. And then around the hole, which I know I should know the names, because the second part of my gift I'll tell you is a little bit of lessons so far, a little program. So around where, the hole in the guitar are what looks to be eyes. So visionista. It's all just it's too perfect to not have been made for me on some level. So Pappy had it first. This guitar has a story. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to then share it with you. So this will not be the last time you hear about my guitar and Stella. And yes, so magical. The second part of the gift is what it is, this amazing, I'm going to call it a program called ChordBuddy. ChordBuddy. You can look it up, chordbuddy.com. There's an app. So as I learned later in the day, because I like to hear all the things, I like to hear when did you decide to do this? So later on in the day, after I was tuning my guitar, playing my guitar, doing the first lesson, I, spent some time just wanting to hear the story of where the idea came from to get it, and how it happened, and who made it happen, and what about ChordBuddy? Where did you hear this? So this ChordBuddy is a program that was featured about 7 to 8 years ago on the show Shark Tank. Shark Tank, if you've never seen it, go watch it. You can YouTube Shark Tank ChordBuddy. And my buddy Travis, who I've never met, but I hope I do someday. Wouldn't that be fun? Designed this program and contraption that you put on the guitar to help you learn how to play the guitar even before you actually learn how to do the chords, because the chords can be very difficult. He says the guitar can be a very frustrating instrument to play, to learn, and he wanted to teach his 8-year-old daughter how to play the guitar. And he tells this beautiful story. Please YouTube, I'll link it in the show notes. Him on the Shark Tank, and they were literally the sharks were fighting, not fighting. Yeah, they fight and they get mean. Fighting over who Travis would choose to be the shark for him and the ChordBuddy. But he said to his 8-year-old daughter, I've had this idea in my mind for over 30 years of how to help people learn the guitar. And she said, Daddy, invent it, do it, make it. And he did. And now he sells it. So I am so excited to tell you about my journey. It is brand new. Yesterday was day 3 of me strumming the strings of my guitar. And so my husband actually watched the episode with Travis on the Shark Tank. And we used to watch Shark Tank, and I would get roll my eyes oh, again. It's a great show. I but sometimes, I just didn't want to watch it. I think for me, I had to be in the mood. It is one of my husband's favorite shows. He literally watched the episode with Travis on Shark Tank years and years ago and told me, he's like, well, I actually wanted to learn the guitar myself in my life. And when I saw it, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And he didn't get it for himself. He didn't, he had the idea, the wish to learn the guitar, and he gifted it to me. So he remembered it when he heard me talking about me wanting to learn the guitar. He remembered that episode, researched it. If you've listened to my episodes before, especially when I talked about our recent vacation, so somewhere in the 40s, you heard my, that was my phone dinging. I should have silenced that. It's okay. I just silenced it now. Excuse me. He is a researcher. He loves to plan and strategize and research things. And this gift is magical. So fun. If you go on Instagram and follow ChordBuddy, you can meet Travis there. So the program comes with this little contraption you put on the guitar. It helps you learn to play songs. And then it's a progressive kind of lesson. You learn how to play the song within a few minutes. You're playing Oh My Darling, Clementine. That's what I'm playing on Christmas Day, on day 1. I was in such concentration and didn't realize from the other couch in my living room, my son was recording me. So I am going to share my journey with you. That is one of my goals for 2022, is to learn how to play the guitar, learn how to do it with the ChordBuddy. And the way he designed it, Travis, is that you progressively learn how to play it with ChordBuddy, and then you remove pieces of ChordBuddy as you grow in your own ability, so that you then can do it all by yourself without the ChordBuddy, so that your fingers are the ones touching the strings, touching the chords, doing the chords. I'm so excited. He does show it with children, and he did design it for his 8-year-old daughter. And, I'm not a child, but I will tell you that this product is perfect for me. As I've said before, and today, I've tried to learn how to play instruments previously. That has not stuck. I have quit before. And I'm going to tell you about that in the Dream Design Deliver formula. So I'm going to get into that because as we talk about the Dream Design Deliver formula, there are 3 stages, 3 phases. We move in and out and around and again. It is a linear, because we have to say words linearly. It is not necessarily a linear process. It is a process that goes from one phase, dream to design to deliver, back to design, back to dream, and all the things in between. However, I will explain it to you linearly because that's how we understand things best at times. And again, knowing that the process does not have to be in a straight line, and usually is not in a straight line. Okay, so I will tell you that my dream, one of them for 2022 is to learn how to play this guitar. Well, actually, no, that's not my dream. That's my goal. That is a realistic goal, an intention that I want to really learn how to play this guitar so that by summertime, I am able to play a song by myself in my backyard around a fire pit at night with my family, sing along, and it's wonderfully fabulous. So that is, I guess that's a mixture of it's a goal and an intention because it is realistic. If I am intentional and I practice, which we're going to get into when we get into the phase of creating a plan, then I think that is a realistic goal. I am believing that that's a realistic goal for me to do summertime. So I have a good 6 to 7 months, 8 if I stretch to August, because that's still summer. And I think that can happen. Our dream might be that I'm playing Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton by summertime. That might be more of a dream. However, I'm putting it out there, right? I actually said that to my husband. I kind of fell in love with Chris. Don't tell my husband. He already knows that with Chris Stapleton over the past year. And I'm not traditionally, I will be honest with you, I have not been a country music lover. I have definitely grown into my appreciation for country music. That I'm just being honest, right? Because you can't love everything. And for sure, I will tell you that my husband he's when you get in his car, it is always country music, not me. But of course, over time, you kind of grow in your relationship and you take little pieces of each other. I like to think that I've given him some good pieces of me over the years, and he has rubbed off on me as well. So I'm very appreciative of country music, more so than I ever have been. It's mostly a station on my presets because they also play the Philadelphia Eagles on Sundays. So that in our area, the local country music station also plays Philadelphia Eagles radio. But my kids like it too. So, it's fine. It's happening. But I really, really, really do love the music of Chris Stapleton. So I guess that might make me like it a little bit more than I'm letting on. But anyway, that would be a dream. A dream and a half would be maybe I want to go to a concert. I would love to see him in concert. But I do love his music and his look. He just seems like a guy that I'd like to sit around a fire with and sing songs and play guitar. dream. So we're dreaming here, right? But let's get back to reality and let's get back to our formula. So in the dream phase, the stages break down into reflecting and attending. Reflect on things that have gone well for me. First of all, attend to what is the dream, right? Identifying the dream that you're working towards, the dream, and also a realistic goal within the dream, right? Dream, we can be a little bit like, this is a dream. If I woke up and it was a miracle, this would be my dream come true. We can say those things, and then we can also add some realistic elements to those dreams. So that we can be excited when they happen. So in the dream phase, we are reflecting and attending. What do I see, hear, feel that inspires me? What are my passions, my desires, my dreams? That, for my example, is what you've just heard. I'm passionate. I love music. It is a desire of mine to learn how to play the guitar. That's more realistic than a dream of meeting Chris Stapleton, sitting around a campfire with him and singing Tennessee Whiskey. But they're all there, right? Because it's important to allow yourself, I invite you to do that with your own dream, your own goal, your own passion, your own desire. You can pause me here if this is something, that you want to spend some time reflecting on. Something might pop into your mind right now as you're just allowing yourself to ponder, envision, contemplate, reflect on some of the dreams that you've had throughout your life that may or may not have come true yet. But you can always pause and write stuff down. I think that can be really, really helpful when we go through this formula. And as you'll see, if you do download it, there's space for you to write. So that is a really helpful part. For the sake of time here in the podcast, I'm going to continue on and encourage you to listen again to the episode when you have time to really sit and reflect and do some writing down and journaling and doodling, because it can be fun to write words and also draw pictures if that's more your style, if that also fits in with how you plan and how you envision and how you dream, drawing and writing. And the reflect part is when you're considering, so when you have identified this dream that you have, this dream and goal, so you're breaking goals down into a longer term goal, right? My long-term goal is to have a song, to be able to play, sing, not only by myself, but with my family, with my loves, and together by summer. So that's an 8-month, that's a longer term goal. Look at me already going to the 8 months. It would be between 6 and 8 months. Let's be realistic. Okay. So between 6 and 8 months, longer term goal, dream. You've already heard me say my dream. And then the next phase, we're going to break it down into how to accomplish it. In the reflection, the dream phase, it's helpful to think, what has gone well for me in the past when I have made goals, identified dreams? What are some things that have helped me accomplish them? So for me, that's holding myself accountable, saying it out loud, writing it somewhere, putting it on a vision board, actually hanging it on my refrigerator. I've done that before when I've had to do some very tangible, realistic activities towards a goal. Putting it on my mirror in my bathroom, hanging it on the door where I get ready in the morning. So I'm reflecting here for myself, and also maybe sharing with you what can work is writing it down. Put it out into the universe, write it down so you can see it, put it somewhere where you see it, regularly to keep yourself accountable. Talk about it with your friends and your family, which I'm doing right now with you. It helps to hold you accountable. It also makes me, I'm not going to lie, it makes me a little bit nervous. I was a little nervous of coming into this episode, putting this out there, because when you talk about your dreams and your goals, people remember them and then can hold you accountable, and hopefully in a way that's supportive. My family, we love to joke with each other too, and so I know that I'll be hearing, how's that guitar coming? And sometimes in a really supportive way, and other times, depending on the person, it may be more of to poke fun at me. Because in the reflection phase, you're also thinking about what things could have gone better for you. And maybe even thinking about what might get in the way. What are some hurdles that could get in the way of accomplishing your dreams, your goals? It's not fun to think about those, but it can be really, really helpful, because if you know what has gotten in your way in the past and what potentially could again, then you can come up with a plan on how to try to make that hurdle lower, how to move it out of your path, what to do when that hurdle or another unanticipated hurdle might pop up, right? Because we also have things in life that just are not anticipated and get in our way as well. But if you can start even on that part of it to think, what might get in my way of accomplishing my goal? And here's where I will tell you that I have in my life tried to play instruments before. I have taken lessons for the viola, the clarinet, and the piano. And people, let me tell you, my friends, I play none of them. I play none of them. So my mom plays the viola. She's amazing. Her siblings all play a stringed instrument. 3 of them play the violin. And one of them plays the cello, and my mom plays the viola. So they literally have a quintet. Is that what you call it when there's 5? Not a quartet, but a string quartet plus 1, a quintet. I don't know if that's right or not, so we'll see. But they played at my wedding, and it was so, so, so amazing. I cannot tell you how special it is, and I wish she would play more. I think I learned a little bit on Christmas Day, maybe as to why she doesn't play more, because I think I do have a bit of her, when you get in the zone, and you've heard me talk about the flow before, when you kind of just get in the flow, you can get hyper-focused on something and nothing else matters in the moment, right? So on Christmas Day, when I got my guitar and I started playing with my ChordBuddy, I don't even know how long I was sitting there, tuning it and then learning to strum it, and learning how to hold a pick, and learning how to hold it, and learning how to, strum the chords. And I was doing it for a while, and it was so fun. And some parts were really frustrating because I can have a low frustration tolerance, especially when it comes to practicing an instrument, which is a hurdle that I'm identifying now. The frustration is real, people, for me. I'm going to be honest with you. Learning an instrument is hard. That's probably why we tell ourselves, do it when you're children, when your brain is much more malleable and you can learn much better. It's harder to learn when you're an adult. Not impossible, or we wouldn't do it. It's not impossible. I'm believing that. But I did receive some feedback from family that I was kind of overly focused on my brand new guitar, and needed to take a break and pay attention to my family again. Mostly my husband, because my kids had their own gifts that they were hyper focused on. But it's all good, right? So we learn that when we have something that we're passionate about, that it also can get in the way of connection, and we have to be recognizing of that. So when I make that connection, I do think that my dad potentially could have gotten jealous of the viola over the years. And I don't know for sure if that's why it doesn't come out of its case as often as it should. But I told my mom I cannot wait for us to play our instruments together. She's amazing. She's way better than me, and probably than I'll ever be. But one of the reasons is because her father, my papa, made them practice every single day. I want to say for an hour every day. And that is kind of the standard, I think, when you're thinking about practicing an instrument. And as I'm saying that, the ChordBuddy program did recommend, I want to say, an hour a day. Yes, an hour a day. And in 2 months, you can get through the instruction manual and get to the place where you are removing the buddy and you're doing it yourself. Now, and it also says, not everybody can do it in 2 months. There's a range. They say you can if you are intentional and you do it for an hour, you practice an hour a day. But that will not happen for me. That's why I'm being more realistic and saying, my range is 6 months to 8 because I don't have an hour a day. I just do not. That's not realistic. There are days that I don't even have I just don't have the time. So that's a hurdle. A hurdle will be time for me, finding the time, which I'm talking through this with you very, very honestly. And as I haven't sat down and done this for my guitar yet. I'm doing it with you right now in real time because it is so, so important to me. And I'm nervous because there is part of me that knows my track record with instruments and I have not kept up with them. And my mom reminded me or said, because my son sent her a few of the videos, I think this is the most you've ever practiced an instrument in your entire life. Like I went to the lessons, but I will be honest, I'm not good at practicing or setting the time to practice, which is why this is different. I'm hoping, I'm believing that this is different. I cannot again explain how it felt when I picked that guitar up and just held it in my arms. It felt like this is it. The clarinet was not it. The viola was not it for me. The piano, as much as I wish it were, I didn't practice it. I feel like a guitar you can just, if I had to say, I really would love to play the piano as well. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to say the guitar, because that one you can carry with you out to the campfire or the backyard fire pit. So those are some of the hurdles that I can realistically identify, and I invite you again to do this yourself. So when you are thinking about what has gone well for you in the past, when you dedicate your mind to it, when you hold yourself accountable, when you write things down, so these are all tips to help you accomplish your realistic goals and dreams. What are the hurdles that you can anticipate, and how do you anticipate getting around them / over them? And what are my strengths? So I'm gonna blend this strengths one in with how to anticipate and lessen the impact of the potential hurdles for myself. So what are my strengths? I really have passion and energy. That would be a strength of mine. I have a strong desire, and I have accomplished a lot of things in my past, and in my recent past. So I can say that I have, when I put my mind to something and really carve out a specific time and time of day, so that may help me in the planning phase. For example, I'll use an example of the meditation that you've heard me use before, that I started a daily meditation practice in September of 2020. I was able to do it, even though at that point it was kind of like, ooh, where does it fit into my day? In 2021, January 1, I began the morning meditation practice. And that has made that goal of mine, that intention of mine, much more realistic, because it's a part of my day now. It is a part of my rising and moving through my day. I look forward to it when I go to bed, just like I look forward to my coffee when I go to bed. And so I would say a strength is that I know, and I think for myself, believing in myself is something I will need to call upon in order to make this goal a reality, because those doubts can creep in like, oh, you'll never learn it, especially in the times of frustration. Like last night when I was practicing my guitar, I was getting frustrated, like, oh my goodness, Travis, really? I slow down. I do talk to him even though it's just an app. So these are things that I know will help me, and the accountability piece will absolutely help me. So I'm going to say that I'm going to put these things out there for you to follow along, so that you can see me in almost real time, right? Because real time would have been if I posted it on Christmas Day. But I'm going to post, I want to say, here's a little goal, weekly, something about my guitar lesson journey, right? So that you can follow along and hold me accountable. I'm asking you to help me out. And I'm thanking you for your belief in me too. Because if you believe in me and put it out there, I'll get some of that energy. I'm asking for some of your positive hope and belief energy back, which can be helpful, right? So if you have a goal, you have a dream, find someone who can help you stay accountable, who believes in you and can encourage you. I have a couple people in my life who are doing that already for me in a real way. Mom, thank you. Because she gets excited, and my kids, they get excited. They also can roll their eyes. When I'm like, can I turn the TV off so I can play my guitar? No, can you go somewhere else? So far I've had some lessons in my living room and in the basement. I could see the basement being more of my best friend, although it's chilly down there. Whew. So what are your strengths? What has gone well for you in the past? How have you accomplished some things that are your dreams? And how can you use that in the future? And then we're moving to the design phase, but you've already heard me in the elements of design already, but I will break it down linearly like I said I would. So creating these goals and breaking them down into smaller chunks, so that they are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic. I think I said that one already. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. So time-oriented. You heard me say, by this date, by summer, in 6 months, I would like to do this. And self-directed, right? So that you have the motivation and you have the power to do this. You have a longer term goal, and then breaking it down into chunks. What are the planning part of this design phase? What are the steps that I need to accomplish my goals? What are the steps I need to do? What tools, resources, supports do I already have? And which tools, resources, supports do I need? So, like I said, the manual, the program with ChordBuddy talks about practicing 1 hour a day for 2 months. That is not realistic for me. So my goal, my breaking it down to be more SMART, so that acronym SMART for those things that I just mentioned, is that I will commit to playing/practicing my guitar. I want to say 5 times a week. I'm going to go with, to be even more realistic, 4 to 5 times a week when I'm home, right? So if I'm on vacation, I don't know that I'll take my guitar with me, but I probably will. Why not? Play it at the beach. 4 to 5 times a week, at least 30 minutes. So that is realistic for me, because some days I literally leave my house and don't get home for 12 hours later or more sometimes. So those days I know I'll be tired, and I know that that's just the reality of it. So 4 to 5 times a week, at least 30 minutes a day for me is a realistic goal. I may have to give myself a star, a check mark. That has helped me in the past to accomplish my goals. To write it down. I do have a guitar notebook. Yes, I do. I found one. I love journaling and I love notebooks, so I have like stashes of them around my house. But I went that day on Christmas Day. I started in my journal, in my notebook. I wrote down the little story of opening her, naming her, calling Pappy and Gigi. All of that stuff is in there, along with what I'm doing each day. So where I'm starting, what lesson, because it's a big task. So I'm repeating each day. They say tune the guitar, which right now it tunes pretty well. So there are six strings. No, are there five? Oh my goodness. 5. No, I'm just remembering my lesson. There are 6, and one of them is not tuned. The A string registers on my tuner. So my ChordBuddy came with a tuner. You just plop the battery in, and then you put it on your guitar and you play the string, and it lights up green when it's tuned. It took me a while to tune the guitar. When I say that my mom did a lot of work, she did tell me that it was very, very dusty. It has been very, very many years since Stella has been played. My mom cleaned it for me before, she was the transfer person between Pappy and Chad. So I will need to restring it at some point. So when you are listening, just keep that in mind. I know that it may, to you guitar aficionados, it may sound terrible, right? Because it's a little old. And by a little, I mean a lot. But special, remember that. It's very special. And one of the strings, or one or two of the tinier ones, so the E, and I forget the other one, are very tight. So that it sounds sometimes more like I'm plucking it than strumming it. So you know what? It right now, that's what I'm working with. And that's okay. I'm okay with that for right now, because I feel like in order to spend more money on this hobby / dream and goal, I am going to commit myself to, practicing it for at least a month before I would even attempt to get it restrung, or even, see what that's about. Whew, my goodness. I see that we're getting long, and I thought this was going to be a short episode, but it's not. I'm just going to keep going. So, some of these, you're hearing me outline some of the steps that I need, and really, really for me, it's getting in there as much as I can. If I can practice it every day. So even last night I got home late and I said, I'm just going to run down and play for 15 minutes. And 15 minutes did turn into 30, because that's what happens. I love it so much. And I know it's only been day 3, but that's what I have to do. I have to commit and stay committed. And sometimes commitments can be hard, difficult, especially when time and hurdles come in the way. So I have tools, I have resources, I have supports. You've heard me identify some of those. I do think it's realistic for me to say that I will be, at least in the beginning, playing in the afternoon / evening. And because mornings I are already dedicated to other activities, meditating, doing physical activity, my daily devotional and prayer, meditation, all that stuff in the morning. And then you heard me last episode, if you listened, say that a goal of mine for 2022 was to start writing a book. So I don't know how this is all going to fit together. So it might be that the book, I hate to say it, takes a backseat to the guitar. Sometimes we have to do that. We have to decide and prioritize what what dream to tackle first. If I could do all the things, I would. And I actually also can tell you that's a hurdle for me, is trying to do too much all at once. So right now, I'm going to prioritize the guitar. Yes, I am. I have a book idea. It's not written down yet, but we'll come back to that. So I have supports, I have tools, I have resources. I'm I can't say enough good things about the ChordBuddy. So it's a lesson before I get to the next step of I will eventually, my plan is to eventually take lessons from a live person. I know that will take me to the next level. This ChordBuddy, it's motivating me to play, to learn, to get into the habit. And before spending more money on lessons, I owe it to myself, my wallet, my bank account, my husband, all the people who are, in on the gift, to really dedicate to the ChordBuddy program, and that's what I'm going to do. And now we're moving into the deliver. How do you deliver your dreams? You align your thoughts, your emotions, your sensations in your body, your intuition, your passion and your purpose, and your actions with your goals. Okay, so there's a lot involved in that. Our thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors, putting these things in line with the goal, with the intention, with the dream. Again, really, I encourage you to download this design guide. And if you just go to drliz.com/DDD, all capital, the DDD is all caps, it takes you right to the page. But yes, you can just go to the website and find it in the other ways that I've told you before. In this, there's some other helpful tips that could come from other resources. If you also, on my resources page, you can check out the Pyramid of Awareness design guide, which helps to break down how do I align my actions and my goals, or actions and thoughts and emotions and all of those things. But you can do that right now. And just letting you know there are other tools on the website to help you do that even further. Align them with your goals, with your vision, with your dreams. So that you're more likely to accomplish them, right? We must get in line and move forward. Make a commitment, stick to it, follow through, and then evaluate, right? So part of the deliver phase is the evaluating and celebrating. Celebrate! That's what we're doing today. So as you know, that as you can just see, this is all coming full circle. So as we evaluate, what's going well? What are the results? Am I, after a week or two, is this realistic for me to do the 4 to 5 times, 30 minutes a day? We'll see, because I'm going to come back to it. You can follow this journey here on the podcast. I'll bring it back on social media. I'm going to post some of the videos that I've already taken, and I'll post some in the future. Now, again, it may sound to you like a train wreck, and that's okay. So far, I'm a beginner. I'm giving myself grace. I'm asking you for grace as well. And what is working well, right? So what's going well so far? So far, so good. For 3 days, I've played it, and I'm loving the app. I'm recognizing the frustration that I can have, and working through it, talking through it, taking deep breaths as it happens. And then what might require a redesign? So as you're noticing things that are going well, celebrate them. The little tiny steps. I'm celebrating with you today that I have, for 3 days straight, played my guitar. Yep, celebrating that. I am aligning my actions and my plans to continue that, to give myself grace, to give myself like, oh, if there's a day that it just doesn't fit, it's okay because I didn't say 7 days a week. I said 4 to 5. And I'm going to reevaluate and redesign as I need to. So not every day, you don't redesign every day, but set some realistic benchmarks. So after a week or 2 weeks, I'll reevaluate and say, how's this going? Do I need to say, rather drop the 4 and say 5 days a week, right? Push myself a bit, because when we make our goals moderately challenging, if they're too easy, we're not going to be as motivated, and we're not going to feel as accomplished and have as big of a celebration then when we can, if we actually are challenging ourselves in a moderate way. Now, if it's too challenging, if I were to say 7 days a week, then we have the more likelihood of giving up, right? Giving up, quitting, stopping, because it's just not realistic. So finding your sweet spot, finding that middle ground that is moderately challenging for you, invites and encourages you to really challenge yourself, make a commitment, so that when you do it, you are proud of yourself and you can celebrate. And allowing yourself the leeway to redesign if it's not working. And again, to then go back to the design phase, the creating, the plan according to the goals, according to those pieces of the goals. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it realistic, reasonable? How do I do it? What supports do I need? Do I need some more time? Do I need some more encouragement? Do I need something else that I don't have, and where can I find that? Maybe even kind of coming back to your dream, coming back and reflecting on it. What is the reason for my dream? What is the passion? How am I fueled by it? To give yourself maybe that boost of motivation. Maybe I listen a little bit more to music that's played by guitar. Maybe I love the Beatles, which you've heard me say before, especially in my episode with Vicky. We talked about the new Beatles documentary that was out, and another song maybe I want to play is Blackbird, right? Maybe I put another piece into that dream. But you have to do what design works best for you, what works best for you according to your dream. Dream, design, deliver. Oh, so excited. Yes, this was another long episode. I thought it would be maybe 30 minutes. I guess I don't know myself as well as I think I do. I talk too much. Okay, but I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to invite you to celebrate. Celebrate today. Use this time to look back, to celebrate something that you have accomplished in 2021. And I'm going to invite you to share it with me. Share it with me. There will be places for you to do so on social media, so make sure you're following. There will be places for you to do that on my website at drliz.com, at visionistasbydesign.com. You can go to my page there and share your celebrations with me for a chance to be featured on the upcoming 1 year anniversary of this podcast. We are approaching that so quickly. I cannot wait to celebrate with you again. This episode has been so much fun for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your support this year. 2021 has been amazing. There's so much for me to celebrate in 2021, and you can listen to some of those in even episode 49, I talk about it. In episode 8, I talk about it. In episode 40 and 45, I talk about it because I love to celebrate. So if you listen carefully, you can hear celebrations in almost, I want to say, every episode that I create and deliver. And what is yours? Spend some time celebrating something. There's at least one thing that you can celebrate, and a dream that you can start to plan and create. We will come back next episode. We will come back to how to get yourself in the space for celebrating your dreams come true in 2022. So this is not really a part 1 of 2, but it's what I love about this podcast is that I get to see you, not really. I would love to see you. Join Design and Flow program, and then I'll get to see you. But I get to connect with you again next time. I invite you to connect with me. I would love to hear from you. If you loved this episode, share it with someone you love. Take a screenshot, post it on your story, and tag me at dr_LYZ or Visionistas by Design on Instagram, on Facebook. Let us know. Let me know that you are listening. Share it with me. Share it with your friends. And send me your celebration. Keep your eye out for the places to do that. I will be talking more about that in the upcoming episodes. I'm getting started early to get you excited too for our birthday episode coming up. In the very beginning of February was when I launched this podcast. I am Dr. Liz. I thank you so much for spending time with me again on the Empowered by Design podcast. I wish you and yours the happiest of New Year's. I cheers to the best celebration and the best year to come. Let's celebrate our dreams come true in 2022 together. Take care. Thank you for connecting on this episode of the podcast, Empowered by Design. For further connection, subscribe to my email list at drliz.com to be sure that you are in the loop for exciting news, events, and resources. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Liz and at Visionistas by Design. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast and send this episode to one of your people in order to share the love, spread the power. This podcast is designed to inspire, educate, and empower you to pursue your dreams with intentional vision. This podcast is not meant to be a substitute for psychological treatment or a working relationship with a licensed mental health professional. For more information on connecting with mental health resources in your area, visit drliz.com and click on resources. Thank you again for connecting. And remember, trust the heart, work your vision, dream, design, deliver.